How it began. There was once a young cowboy riding west. With him was his horse, Rocky, and his small dog, Dusty. They had been riding hard for days. Their food was almost gone, and their water bottles nearly empty. "Looks as if we've gone and lost ourselves, fellas," the cowboy said as he gazed around the lone, barren prairie. "Ruff, ruff!" barked Dusty, as if in sympathy. "Sure wish you could talk to me," thought the young man, feeling in need of someone else to speak to. They rode on, searching for water and some sign of life, but none appeared. Then suddenly Dusty started to bark excitedly. He ran up to his master, whining and growling as if to say, "Look what I've found." The cowboy followed where the dog led him, and there, sitting forlornly on a rock all alone, was a little Indian boy. "Well, I reckon you're the last thing I expected to find out here on the prairie," exclaimed the cowboy. "What's your name, son?" he asked. "Makoya," replied the little boy. "Me hungry, me lost," he added pathetically. "Well, son, guess you'd better take a drink of water and a bite to eat," said the cowboy, giving the boy the last of the food and water. After the boy had drunk and eaten, he told the cowboy that he had wandered away from his grandfather, Big Chief Kalamakoya, to go hunting and had got lost. "We'll try and get you home safely, son," said the cowboy. "But I sure wish we had some water." "Me lead you to waterfall," said Makoya. So the cowboy, his horse and dog, and their newly found friend set off. On and on they travelled, and finally they were so exhausted that they could go no farther. Makoya suddenly pointed to the horizon, crying, "Look, the waterfall!" "Where?" cried the cowboy eagerly, and he looked hard in the direction where Makoya was pointing. But all he could see were rocks. "All dried up!" cried Makoya pathetically. It seemed their long, long journey had been in vain. The waterfall had indeed dried up, and they were all without water and with little hope of finding any. "Come on, fellas," said the cowboy wearily. "Better make our camp here for the night and travel on at sunup. Now don't worry," he said more cheerfully, seeing their downcast faces. "We'll find water tomorrow. You'll see." But the cowboy didn't believe what he was saying and lay awake that night long after the others were asleep, desperately thinking of what he could do to save them. Finally, exhausted, he sank into a troubled sleep. Suddenly he awoke with a start as he heard little Makoya's voice echoing around the rocks. "Kalamakoya!" As if in answer to his call, there was a flash of lightning and a burst of thunder, and there stood Big Chief Kalamakoya. He was overjoyed at finding his grandson again, and when he heard how the young cowboy had saved his life, he asked him how he could repay him. But the cowboy wanted no reward but food and water. Kalamakoya raised his arms dramatically and with a gesture produced wonderful orchards of trees in the place of the barren prairie, with water flowing from the waterfall once again. And then turning to the cowboy he said, "And now you shall be rewarded." He handed him 2 feathers, and immediately the cowboy's 2 guns swiveled in their holsters and fired, without him even touching them. As he held the 3rd and 4th feathers, the cowboy's dearest wish came true. His horse and dog were able to speak. "Ruff! Hey, Tex! Ruff!"
"Oh, delighted to meet you, old chap."
It was the most wonderful day for the 3 friends, and it was to be the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. The young man stayed on and became the sheriff of the town which grew up, called 4 Feather Falls, so named because of the waterfall and the 4 magic feathers. And the young cowboy's name? Well, if you haven't already guessed, it was Tex Tucker, and it was to become the most famous name in the West.